Donald Trump's triumphant return to political life, marked by his reassumption of the presidential office, has immediately sparked a storm of discussion and change both domestically and on the international stage. Amidst these events, in the UK, Prime Minister Keir Starmer is facing the consequences of his recent statements, which now seem particularly awkward. Just a few months ago, Starmer unhesitatingly called Trump a threat to global stability, emphasizing his unwillingness to even consider an informal meeting with him. Isn't it remarkable how rhetoric changes over time? Recall how the same politician who recently criticized Trump is now quick to express his sincere congratulations. Can this shift be explained by mere political expediency, or is there something more to it? Tonight, a meeting with the UK Prime Minister is scheduled. What is the opinion of him? Despite criticism from some members of his government, a friendly meeting is planned. It is important to maintain good relations, especially when a personal meeting is on the horizon. It is worth noting that he is popular, and his visit is an important sign. However, this sudden transition from criticism to compliments seems more like an attempt to smooth things over than a demonstration of genuine diplomacy. But the question arises, will Donald Trump, known for his principles, forget past grievances? Most likely not. Let's speculate on what will happen next. Donald Trump will probably waste no time. On the very first day of his term as the 47th President of the United States, he may actively get down to business, canceling environmental restrictions, stimulating energy production, and reinstating political decisions overturned by his predecessor. Donald Trump demonstrates determination in shaping U.S. domestic and foreign policy, focusing on job creation, strengthening security, and prioritizing American interests. These changes do not go unnoticed. The global community, including allies and competitors, is closely analyzing the unfolding events. Some leaders see opportunities in the new political environment to strengthen international ties, while others, particularly in the UK, express concern about the future of cooperation. In political circles in Westminster, Trump's actions have sparked lively discussions. Many are questioning Prime Minister Keir Starmer's ability to maintain stable and constructive relations with such an unpredictable partner. It is noteworthy that Keir Starmer was not among the 12 world leaders invited to Trump's inauguration, which raises additional questions about the prospects for British-American relations. The domestic political situation in the UK is also causing concern. There are reports of persecution for statements on social media, economic difficulties affecting farms, and problems faced by pensioners left without adequate government support. In addition, there are serious issues requiring investigation, including the activities of criminal groups and issues related to the protection of the rights of various social groups. In this situation, it is puzzling that leaders' attention is diverted from supporting innovation and constructive dialogue, including with figures like Donald Trump. When anything other than the well-being of the people becomes the focus of leadership, it inevitably entails certain consequences. The international community has met this situation with mixed reactions. Some express admiration for the determination, while others prepare for potential upheavals. For the UK, which is already in a difficult position, such actions become both a serious test and a warning. The question arises, will Keir Starmer be able to adequately respond to the upcoming events? In the past, Keir Starmer did not mince words when it came to Donald Trump. He characterized his policies as dangerous and even claimed that his leadership posed a global threat. In his speeches and interviews, Starmer repeatedly subjected Trump to harsh criticism, creating the image of a leader unwilling to reconcile with his worldview. However, as is well known, the internet remembers everything. Old video recordings of Starmer criticizing Trump have once again attracted public attention, causing widespread resonance. In these videos, Starmer confidently rejects the very idea of cooperating with Trump, which creates certain difficulties in reconciling his previous position with his recent congratulations. The reaction to this has been quite turbulent. Critics accuse Starmer of hypocrisy, while Trump supporters, on the contrary, are rejoicing. A complex situation is unfolding for the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, attracting widespread attention. The press is meticulously examining every aspect, and in this environment, Keir Starmer's past actions are becoming a topic of discussion. Following Donald Trump's inauguration, Starmer sent him his congratulations, which came as a surprise, considering his previous criticism of Trump as a destabilizing factor in the world. This contrast between Starmer's former stance and subsequent actions is evident. His congratulatory message was couched in polite and diplomatic terms, which some believe indicates a desire to maintain stable relations rather than genuine approval. Furthermore, the criticism leveled against the mayor of London also raises questions. It is argued that the mayor is failing to fulfill his responsibilities, as evidenced by the rise in crime and other urban problems. At the same time, there is a sentiment that criticizing a representative of the United States who could benefit the United Kingdom is counterproductive. It has previously been discussed that his actions are creating a negative effect rather than providing benefits. An analysis of his statements reveals that they have an adverse impact on the citizens of this great country. It would be more appropriate for him to focus on fulfilling his direct responsibilities. This would allow him to solve existing problems and correct those that have arisen due to his actions. Public reaction has been largely critical. Many commentators saw Starmer's actions as a display of hypocrisy, accusing him of yielding under the pressure of political expediency. Even within his own party, there is some discontent. Some believe this is a desperate attempt to maintain relations with the White House, while others believe the moment has already passed. Social media has been flooded with videos of Starmer's past statements, reminding people of his former convictions. This move has not only failed to reduce tensions but has also increased skepticism. The question now arises as to whether he can restore trust through his actions, or whether he has already lost control of the situation. Donald Trump is known for his phenomenal memory for grievances, which is evident in both open conflicts with celebrities and restrained communication with world leaders. His resentfulness has become legendary. Those who contradict him often face the consequences of his decisions. Keir Starmer's previous criticisms of Trump are unlikely to have been forgotten. Trump is not inclined to forgive, and this could create certain difficulties for the United Kingdom. Diplomatic contacts may become more complex, and economic interactions may face unpredictable obstacles. Much is at stake. The United Kingdom, already experiencing difficulties after leaving the European Union, needs a confrontation with the President of the United States least of all. Trump's alliance with political figures such as Nigel Farage only exacerbates tensions. Could Starmer's past statements prove costly for the United Kingdom? Undoubtedly, Trump has an excellent memory, but his patience is limited. The golden age of America begins right now, the politician declares to applause. But, as experts frankly admit, the situation could be more serious than anyone could have imagined. America has every chance to restore its status as a leading world power, regain its former greatness, influence, and universal respect. However, temporary difficulties are likely before improvement occurs. The bright future of the country should not be questioned. Short-term inconveniences for the sake of long-term prosperity are a difficult but necessary choice. There is a belief that higher powers have predestined America's return to its former glory. Nigel Farage and Donald Trump are not merely political allies. Their views are largely aligned. Farage has actively supported Trump, participating in his campaign events, endorsing his political course, and campaigning jointly in the United States. While many European politicians have tried to distance themselves from Trump, Farage has strengthened his position, becoming his key ally in the United Kingdom. But Farage does not intend to stop there. He seeks to change the political situation in the United Kingdom through his Reform UK party. This new movement aims to challenge the existing order, challenge the political elite, and achieve radical change. In the political landscape, there is a noticeable similarity between the populist strategies of Nigel Farage and Donald Trump, indicating a commonality of their views on the future of their countries. This alliance has not escaped the attention of analysts and observers. With Trump's return to the political arena, Farage seems to be in a strategically advantageous position that allows him to influence British-American relations, possibly even surpassing the influence of the current Prime Minister, Keir Starmer. Trump's public admiration for Nigel Farage is well known. He has repeatedly noted Farage's significant influence on the European political stage and highly valued his role in the UK's exit from the European Union. Trump sees Farage as the embodiment of a bold and pragmatic political approach that commands his respect. In contrast to the warm words for Farage, Trump's comments regarding Keir Starmer are tinged with irony. Describing Starmer as a nice guy, Trump seems to be demonstrating a reserved attitude rather than genuine respect. This contrast in assessments is quite telling. While Farage is seen as a reliable friend and ally, Starmer appears to be regarded as just another political figure striving to conform to current trends. Nigel Farage, a politician with a wealth of experience, is admired by many, including Donald Trump. Over the years, Farage has achieved significant success in elections, gaining more seats than expected. However, the political system in which he operates has its peculiarities, where winning an election does not always guarantee the desired outcome. Despite this, Farage remains a respected figure in politics. The influence of personal sympathies in politics can have far-reaching consequences. Trump's support for Farage indicates possible changes in the relationship between the U.S. and the U.K. If Trump continues to support Farage's Reform Party, Keir Starmer's government may face difficulties. Trump seems to value loyalty, and, in his view, Farage has proven his dedication, unlike Starmer. Trump supporters accuse representatives of the UK of interfering in the US elections. It is alleged that members of the Labour Party, including those close to Keir Starmer, provided support to Kamala Harris. Despite the lack of specific details, these claims have resonated with the public. Such actions do not go unnoticed and may affect future relationships between political forces. Donald Trump Jr., son of the former U.S. president, has publicly expressed dissatisfaction with the UK's actions, stating that its involvement in certain processes is inappropriate and harms the so-called special relationship between the two countries. These statements gained additional weight after information emerged that representatives of the British Labour Party had allegedly provided consulting support to Democratic strategists during the election campaign. The British Labour Party has been accused of interfering in the election. Donald Trump Jr. emphasized that such actions create a negative backdrop for further cooperation, calling the situation absolutely insane. He also expressed concern about the situation in the UK, mentioning cases of criminal prosecution for incorrect use of gender terms, calling it disgusting, and urging British authorities to reconsider their policies. Donald Trump's team has taken legal steps, filing a complaint against the Labour Party, accusing it of actions aimed at supporting his political opponents. Regardless of the validity of these accusations, they have introduced an additional element of distrust into the relationship between the UK and the US, creating a complex situation for the government under Keir Starmer. This situation calls into question the prospects for further cooperation and trust between the two countries. Donald Trump's return to the political arena heralds a period of reassessment of international relations, and one of the first challenges may be interaction with the UK. Labour leader Keir Starmer may have inadvertently questioned the traditionally strong ties between the two countries. His previous statements about Trump, as well as accusations of election interference, have not gone unnoticed in the American capital. It is known that Trump highly values loyalty, and Starmer's political past does not seem to foster trust. Trump's demonstrative preference for Nigel Farage adds further complexity to the relationship between the states. The diplomatic climate is cooling, and the concept of a special relationship is being reevaluated. In response, there are calls for dialogue and mutual understanding. It is proposed to invite President Trump to visit London Pride, as well as to join Friday prayers. The importance of familiarizing the world leader with the diversity of cultures and religions represented in London, including Hindu temples, Sikh gurdwaras, and Jewish synagogues, is emphasized. This initiative aims to strengthen ties and demonstrate the UK's openness. The political horizon is shrouded in a fog of uncertainty. Donald Trump seems to be supporting the populist initiatives promoted by Nigel Farage, while Keir Starmer faces challenges in trying to overcome the consequences of his past decisions and statements. In this complex environment, the United Kingdom risks weakening its position in relations with one of its key allies. In the post-Brexit era, as the UK actively pursues new trade agreements and establishes global partnerships, such diplomatic complications could result in significant costs. The question is whether Starmer can find an effective way to restore trust and repair the damage, or whether relations between the two countries have already reached a point of no return. The prospects for further development of relations between the United Kingdom and the United States appear far from cloudless. With the possible return of Donald Trump to power and his apparent skepticism towards Keir Starmer, the so-called special relationship is at a critical crossroads. Past criticism from Starmer, his recent attempts to establish contact and congratulatory statements, as well as accusations of interference in the electoral process, have created a difficult situation for the UK. Trump's preference for Nigel Farage only exacerbates tensions. Farage demonstrates the type of decisive and unwavering support that Trump values, while the seeming inconsistency in Starmer's actions puts him in a vulnerable position. The impact on international relations, from trade agreements to diplomatic engagement, is becoming increasingly palpable, especially in light of the Trump administration's reassessment of alliance priorities. Of particular note is the presence of a European representative, whose activities resemble efforts undertaken in the past. His work is commendable, and his professionalism is beyond doubt. He has always maintained friendly relations based on mutual sympathy and has been able to make significant changes in the political sphere. His success in the recent UK elections underscores his influence and authority. This refers to Nigel Farage, whose charisma is universally recognized. His rebellious spirit is certainly a positive quality. In the current situation, as the UK faces the consequences of Brexit, any discord in relations with key partners is highly undesirable. The unpredictability of Trump's policies creates serious difficulties for British diplomacy. In this regard, the question arises as to Starmer's ability to restore lost ties. Will the UK be able to strengthen its position in relations with its most influential partner, or is the damage already done?